Time for another edition of the Cougar Coaches Show, talking softball with the head coach of the Cougar softball squad, the AMC champion Cougar softball team, Wendy Spratt. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
Quite a run. We talked about it pretty much all season long. I know from the beginning, from the banquet before the season started and throughout the year, that this conference was full of parity, and it seemed like every single day that there was a game scheduled, somebody was splitting with somebody. Nobody was running away with the conference standing-wise. You 3 games separate 6 teams. And you lay the brackets out, and you start off with a big win over number 3 Lion. And talk about the difference between all season you're playing doubleheaders, especially in conference, and then you switch to that tournament mode, and it's one game, and you really got to put a lot into that one game. Is there any difference to the preparedness of a team for that kind of as opposed to a doubleheader?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we're prepared. I think that our loss to Benedictine, they swept us in a doubleheader, and they didn't even make the tournament, so that tells you where they're at in our conference. And I think that was a rude awakening. You know, we did some soul searching, tried to figure out how to get us back on track. And I think since that time that we've played really well. We've hit the ball consistently, and our pitching staff has really come along down the stretch.
Most definitely, yeah. You get wins over number 3, and then you get some help with Mobap knocking off Park in that first game, so you didn't have to worry about them right away, and you beat Mobap, a team you had just played a week and a half or so ago at their place, and got 2 wins there. And then you face off with the number 1 team in the conference with Lindenwood at Belleville, and a 6-6 game. And then what was up with that 6th inning? That was an unbelievable. I mean, just a back and forth game to begin with. The wind's blowing out. You know, Brittany gets a home run to tie it, and then they hit the 3-run home run. And you think just about the time you guys might, back down a little bit, you kept scraping away, and it's 6-6. And 7 runs or whatever it was in that 6th inning. I mean, what goes through your mind other than we just got to keep scoring runs?
Well, I think they're not. We didn't have a dominant team. We didn't have a dominant pitcher. So I think that we were confident going in because we had been scoring a lot of runs all year, and we had great leadership. I mean, our girls really wanted to win, and they went out and they took care of business. I mean, sometimes this year it was really difficult if we were behind, but it didn't seem to faze them at all that we were behind. I mean, you look at the dugout, you couldn't tell that we were losing. And that's what you want as a coach, somebody that's going to stay in there and fight. And they did. They fought. They came out on top.
Yeah, it's cliche almost in a way, and I caught myself saying it several times. You're down 4-1, it's only the second. You got a lot of ball left to play, which sounds great when you're trying to psych yourself up, but then all of a sudden as you get closer and you're thinking, okay, how's this thing going to play out? And obviously trying to avoid having to drop back down into that loser's bracket and play even more softball and tax the pitchers even more, and so on and so forth. But the ladies stuck with it, and that train just got rolling in that inning, and it was lights out at that point. I mean, considering the way the game went, to have that kind of come out of nowhere was a great way to win that ball game for sure. And then the game against Park was a classic battle with them that you had earlier in the season that you split at their place, and Carly Spaulding's home run proved to be the difference. She added on another run later and won it 2-0.
It was a great game. I mean, they had runners in scoring position. They just weren't able to get the runs across, and we didn't. We each had 7 hits in the game, but we were able to get 2 runs across, and that was the difference. But it was a great ball game for all those people that were able to get out and watch.
And sometimes that's all it takes is just that one extra break. Which way does it go? And you guys have certainly had your share go against over the years, and vice versa. One thing about this team, it seemed like there'd be moments where they'd have some errors in the field, or they'd have moments where base running mistakes were made, and those are kind of moments where you would think, okay, here's where they would tuck their tail and head back to the dugout, and that'd be it. The wind would be out of the sails, and but you got one player with, Davis has an error in the field, turns around, hits a 3-run home run, bounces right back, forgets about it, and that's what you got to have, and you seem like you had that almost all season long.
And we were worried, I think, coming into the year because we lost our whole senior infield and didn't know who was going to play till, it's getting close to season. And, I think the girls have really stepped up. And, I think a lot of that has to do with the freshmen don't get it yet. So they just go out and play. They're relaxed. They don't really understand the whole process, and they just go out and play. And it doesn't mean as much. But then we have senior leaders as well that are pulling everybody in the right direction. So I think between those 2 things, it really helped us.
And mentioned the seniors, and you had, Jessica Hardy played catcher for a little bit her freshman year, didn't play as much, played at third this year, and had same kind of thing, battled through some defensive issues, but really settled in, and the bat was really hot down the stretch. I think 3 for 4 on the day 1 of the tournament with 2 or 3 RBIs, and in big spots too. It wasn't when you're already up by 5. Those were big runs.
Yeah, she had the RBI in the park game too,
Yeah.
the second one.
The second RBI went to her, and you know, behind home plate with Taylor Atwood has just been a leader for the year she's been here. Talk about what she's meant to, because she was the only one returning back to that infield on the defensive side of things, and really was a leader both defensively and for the pitchers too.
Yeah, she's done an amazing job. I think that she understands what it takes, I think, to be a leader. We've talked a lot about it. I think she's come a long way. I think she used to get frustrated, and this year she didn't allow herself to get frustrated if she made a mistake or if we were behind. She was that go-to person that brought everybody back together, and that's been really important, especially to our pitching staff.
Most definitely, yeah. I think you hear that a lot, especially with Yadier Molina being the catcher in St. Louis, talk about how he's basically the second manager. I think a lot of people that watch the softball game don't realize exactly how much goes into being a catcher. Obviously, they've got to catch the pitches and block the plate and play like that, but they also are calling the game, looking into the dugout, finding out what you guys are calling or how you want to. She calls the game.
We allow our catchers to call the game. Okay. But we talk to them when they come in every inning. You know, this is what they did last time. This is what they hit. This is what they don't hit well. So we're always communicating. Jamie has that job, and so hopefully she's making the best decision. I think the catcher can see what's going on. You know, sometimes what I think is a strike from the sidelines is, when you see it on film, it's not quite what you thought it was. You know, so she's got the best angle and she knows what pitches are working and not.
It is fun to watch her bat that, and catchers, they see this all the time. In all levels, when they bat and there's a called strike, they're glaring back at blue as well, going, wait a minute.
I'm not getting that call.
2 innings ago, there was no way that this was a strike, and now I'm batting and it's called a strike. But as you said, she's settled in and been a big leader on the team. And then Brittany Jarks, her bat really a year ago, you go back to the leaps and bounds she made last year, and that just carried over this year with the way she hit the ball.
Absolutely, and anytime she gets down or she's not doing well, she'll spend the extra time out of practice. And again, those were my 2 captains, Brittany and Addie, and they've done an amazing job, I think, pulling us and pushing us in the right direction.
And as you win the conference tournament championship in the tournament now, you have an opportunity to go to the opening rounds of the national tournament. Last year, you guys hosted that event at Antimi, and now it's kind of wait around and see where it more comes down to the ratings, or how does it work as far as where you might end up?
Well, they're going to rank the teams that are ranked at the end of the year, and then kind of fill in with the teams that aren't ranked. Technically, it's supposed to be 1 through 40 rank, and they're going to send you, but the teams that aren't ranked, they do look at geographical. So the last poll comes out tomorrow. We're hoping to be either in the top 25 or receiving votes. I think we've done what we need to be there. I'm not in control of that, but hopefully, for the first time this season, I feel like, we're playing well and hitting the ball well, and we deserve to be in the top 25.
And Paxton, not a strikeout pitcher, but Paxton Welch, the girl from Helias in her sophomore season here, really let the defense do their thing and didn't get too bothered when there would be a blemish behind her, stayed focused and got the job done. And you could really see her coming to her own and confidence down the stretch here, and she was rewarded here recently with a Pitcher of the Week accolade as well.
Yeah, that's her 3rd Pitcher of the Week accolade. So Paxton came in last year, and we had 4 pitchers, and I didn't know who was going to emerge. And last year, toward the end of the year, she started to emerge, and this year she's definitely been our number 1. We put that confidence in her, and she's been consistent down the stretch, and she's going to keep us in the game, and she's going to throw strikes and hit her spots and allow the defense to work. And she doesn't overpower, but she does her job, and that's all we need.
And then Amber Bame has fought injuries off and on for the last couple seasons, it seems like. And then when you used her in that Lindenwood game, she came in certainly a different look as she brings more power. I could hear the Lindenwood broadcast team down to my left talking about the difference in the pitchers, where Paxton certainly has control in several different pitches with movement, whereas Amber came in and just kind of started flamethrowing a little bit, and that had them on their heels, and certainly was an effective tool in that game to get you guys to that point where you got the big inning in the 6th inning that game.
Definitely. We definitely needed Amber down the stretch. Paxton had gotten hit the day before in the leg. I wasn't sure she was going to be able to throw game 2 in the first day, but she came back. She's tough and threw that game, and then the next day she was pretty sore. So we started her, but she didn't have all of her stuff, and you could tell. And Amber came in and really did a great job. That was a game the umpire was squeezing. That's probably not Amber's forte. She likes to get the corners and the low ball, and we weren't getting any of that. But she was able to make the adjustment and get the job done.
And that was important, especially at that point, to keep them off the scoreboard, settle in, get you guys to come back, and then you have the big inning at that point. And all of your pitchers, when Lauren McCroskey's gotten a chance to get in, again, down the stretch here, everybody seemed to kind of dial in, and is the confidence kind of feeding off everybody.
I think so. You know, our pitchers, again, have done a nice job down the stretch. I think we struggled a little bit early in the season, but down the stretch, they've all gotten better and settled in, like you said.
What is practice like now as you wait? Now you kind of wait to find out where the road trip's going to be to go to the national tournament and who you're going to match up against. But what has practice been like here this last week after winning the championship?
Well, they are in finals, so
That's true.
We tried to limit practice to 2 hours, and we've just been, basically scrimmaging, throwing live, wanting to keep their bats going. And today's a day off, so they can study, and then the next 2 days we'll hit it hard again with live pitching. We've been hitting the ball well. It's hard to take 10 days off and then try to hit a pitcher. So we've been having our pitchers continue to throw to batters. And
back to some of the accolades, Carly Spalding, your center fielder, the AMC Player of the Year, well deserved, obviously, not just alone for what she's done on the base pass, much less what she's done defensively and with the stick as well. Pretty impressive sophomore campaign.
Absolutely. She hit, I think, 320 something last year and hit 517 for the regular season. We didn't have a 500 club. We have anybody who hits 300 is in the 300 club. They get a plaque. Right. Anybody that hits 400 gets a plaque. Now we have a 500 club, and Carly's the only one in it. So.
Got to call the trophy company. Can you change the 4 to a 5?
So Jamie Holmes has done a great job with Carly and working with our hitters, and Carly took it to heart and worked outside of practice, and you can tell she's made a huge difference. I think she's very comfortable in the leadoff spot. Jamie was in there last year. And, anytime we get on base, we're going to send her.
Yeah, I was going to say, why not? She's 56 for 56. You got to keep throwing her down to second base. It certainly, takes out any kind of double play opportunity, and there's been several times where they've thrown it away down at second, and the ball's not that far away, and she's at third base talking to you. You get a high five a lot quicker than you thought you would. Allison Metz also and Tylynn Stevens received honors in the tournament. And I think with Tylynn in that designated player role a little bit, sometimes not as visible, but certainly her bat was big for you guys.
Definitely. Allison's done a great job coming in as our first baseman. She's hitting in 3 spots. She's got leading our team in RBIs and has done a great job, stepped up in a lot of key situations for us this year. And then Tylynn's got this unique ability to put the ball in play, to hit it where they're not. I mean, she doesn't overpower generally, but she's able to place the ball and get on base, and it's been tremendous for us.
Yep, I'm trying to remember now with the game late in the season where it was a walk-off win with, might have been Lindenwood Belleville, maybe that doubleheader split, the 2-1 game.
Yeah,
and that scored Carly from center, and there you go. I mean, it's one of those, she gets on base almost every, I don't know what her on-base percentage is, Carly Spalding's is, but it's way up there, but it's certainly. And then at the bottom of your order too, Kaylee Brueggemann hit her first home runs now more than once. Although your coach there almost squeezed the life out of her in the dugout there. That celebration was fun to watch. Kaylee Brueggemann, I know, got a home run for the first time this year, then hit another one, I think at Mobap. And Marie Emhoff, one of your other seniors, got a home run for the first time. I think the way she described it was ever. Over a wall instead of to a park without a fence where you just keep running when you're 7 or whatever it is. So those little moments like that for this kind of a team it's already a close group, but they kind of celebrate each other, and that just kind of builds all of that together.
They do. It's fun to watch them. They all get along. We don't have drama, which is really nice. We have good team chemistry, and I think that's one of the things that's propelled us here in the postseason. I've been telling them all year that we're the best team in the conference, and I truly believe that. Not every day did we go out and execute that, but when it came down the stretch, I think we were prepared and we were ready to go. And executed.
And you saw that with the way how close the conference was. I mean, you can't, when there was 3 teams tied with 16-8 marks, and you talk about, 2-3 games here or there, at the end of the season when you can go back and look at the full body of work, where you can go, see, you got lazy on this one Tuesday, and that cost you 4 spots technically. It really does. It's again another one of those classic sports cliches, but any given Sunday or any given whatever happens to be the day for that conference doubleheader. But a heck of a run. Congratulations. Good luck on wherever you guys happen to be. I know you're going to travel somewhere, have some fun with the kids to be able to travel to the national tournament since they added in the play-in rounds. And so there'll be pools of 4 teams in each one of these locations, and then
10 sites.
At 10 different sites. And then the winners of each of those head up to Iowa for the round of 16. Is that right?
10.
10 make it to the Iowa. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully CC's got a ticket punch there. All right. Congratulations, Coach Wendy Spratt of the softball squad AMC tournament champions for 2015. For more on the softball squad, you can check out the website and of course keep an eye on that for announcements of where the Cougars will be playing in the national tournament as their season continues. Again, at ColumbiaCougars.com.